everyone, welcome. It's Evelyn from Twin Flames 3344. I have a Divine Masculine Twin Flame read for you, as well as cards for all 12 signs, which I'll get into after the read. And I'm going to get right into it. It is August 28, 2019. The 28 is the Two of Wands, or two flames, just like the Twin Flames. So it is that energy. It's also a 1, which is very masculine, very direct. It indicates independence and selfishness in a good way, a very focused, direct, and then the day adds up to 48, which is a 3. 48 is the 8 of Cups, so walking away and or within, and just it being a 3 has to do with coming together, being social, being in joy, expressing yourself authentically. Also relates to the Empress and Gaia. So with the Two of Wands and the 8 of Cups, the twins walking away and going within, right? Finding their inner selves, finding what's the missing piece of their life after they've built or put a lot of emotion into something. And then as I started the read today, well, first I went to drop something off really quick this morning before I did the read. And right after I left there, I ran into these two guys and their mama. So I wanted to share that with you, the little fawns with their spots. So cute. And I did the read. It was done at 10:51 to 52. 10 is the Wheel of Fortune, 52 is the King, and 51 and 52 is the Queen of Swords. The King and Queen of Swords both come up again here today. And as I was starting the read too, I was hearing gunfire in the range. There's a police range not too far from here, which I don't know why they have to do it outside. You know, why do people need to hear gunfire? It's not a very pleasant sound, but they do that on a somewhat of a regular basis. But I haven't heard it in a while, and I was hearing that as I was putting out the cards today. The major arcana are Indigo, which is like the Magician, the Lovers, which was right in the middle of the read today, the Chariot, Reflection, which is like the Hermit, Alchemy, which is like the Temperance card, and then Transition, which is like the Death card. But in this deck, the Sirian Starseed deck, the Death card is very much a transition card, walking through the portal. So there were 2 swords, 1 wand, 2 cups, no pentacles in the read today, and the court cards were just the Page of Wands and the Knight of Swords. After the read, the King of Swords and the Queen of Wands came up together, but that was it for the court cards. But we do have the Indigo and the Hermit and the Temperance card, which often represents an angel, so they could be people as well. The message in the code line today was all about individuality, being your authentic self, expressing yourself, only allowing yourself to have the last word in your decisions, not allowing other people to sway you. And that just the number 4 was on the code line today. So all about the 4 and structure and stability, which came up a lot yesterday as well, and this week in general, but about the Emperor, which is about controlling your world. The code line was very interesting how it started out today. So I wasn't getting a clear message right away, so I ended up going online to look up a couple of things to see what they meant or their different meanings. And the way it turned out was just blew my mind how I got there. It was really cool. So besides the number 4 on the code line, we also had 212, so 212. Also, the number 12 was important, as well as 24. And of course, 12 is wisdom and the end of a cycle, and 24 as well. It's the Omega, the last letter of the Greek alphabet. Also 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that sequence came up, as well as 49, which is the 9 of Cups. So finding satisfaction with yourself, by yourself, getting your wish also. And then 59 also came up, which is that 5 of Swords energy. A lot of 11th hour stuff was coming up. Times of like 9:59 came up this morning. I woke up at 8:17, so it's like the minute before 8:18. And then another 59 was coming up too, or 29. But definitely like that minute before the hour, the 11th hour type of energy for me. And then more minorly, 23, 34, and 45 came up, which is the King of Wands, the 8 of Wands, and the 5 of Cups, all of which were significant in the read today. So, in the code line was definitely part of what came up in the code line was the Page of Wands, which is the challenge position today. So we have, I'm just going to point out a few cards because I know it's hard for you to see the underlying cards, even though you can see them on the icon. This is the Page of Wands here, the Masked Boy with the Burning Desire, which is the challenge. The Lovers is here. You can just see the green there is the Lovers card. It's got rainbow colors on it. This is the Hermit, the Reflection card. The Indigo, the Chariot card's over there. The Two of Orbs is crowning up there. This is the Knight of Orbs, or the Knight of Swords. And for this deck, it's much more about sending 5D messages because there's like a bubble going back and forth. The Masculine seeing himself as the Alchemy card, or the Temperance card. Around the Masculine is the Four of Cups, and then the Death card, and then, or the Portal here, and then this is the Ace of Cups. And the Ace of Cups was actually upright. Up here is the King of Swords and the Queen of Wands, and above that is the Nine of Swords. Okay. The underlying energies here, this is Luna, or the Moon. And then we had the Five of Swords and the Three of Pentacles. Five of Swords was reversed today, and the Three of Pentacles upright, so that was good. But here's the Indigo, or the Magician energy, which was reversed today. And it's very interesting how it's coming up. So, before I get to that, I just wanted to show you them so you see how they relate to the code line and what comes up here about individuality and being yourself. The Seeker of Flames, or the Page of Wands, which is the challenge today, had to do with that, which is the one of inspiration with desire, the child who's inspired to go on a date, or just creatively inspired. But it's very much that childlike energy of inspiration. So it was coming up off of the Emperor, you know, so they're opposites. One is the Emperor, so he's like the teacher and the student, or the parent and the child. It's very much that energy. And taking the high road was the first thing coming up here. But there's a lot of acronyms here which I didn't have a specific meaning for, so I had to build it to bring it together. And the Four of the Christ consciousness was coming up too. So that can represent the Emperor of Christ consciousness, and then the student of the flame, like learning about transmutation and such, and the journey, because transit comes up here. And we have to remember too, individuality breaks down into div, which is divine, duality, or just dual, and the divine dual of the ITY. The I am presence, the T of toddling up to the etheric realms, and then the Y being the Y in the road, choosing your path. So the high road, also Ralph was coming up, which is so weird because when I had a conference call yesterday with someone, my shirt had Ralph on it, and I never think of Ralph, but Ralph came up in one of the codes, the acronyms in the code line. So Ralph is important for someone out there. Also the Alps came up, as well as ouch. So taking the high road, even when it hurts, however this relates to Ralph, and I'm just getting Ralph crammed in now, the honeymooners. Ah, the honeymooners, you guys. And the Alps. So maybe someone's going to the Alps for their honeymoon. That just came up now. The Four of the Christ consciousness, the Emperor of the Christ consciousness, the stability, the home, and remember the Four of Wands is a four of union. And then the Page of Wands of that desire, and the journey, the transit to individuality of each of you. And that's how you come together into union. So pi, THI, one of the acronyms that came up, is also representative of pi, which when I looked it up, and it's just en.m.wiktionary. So Wiktionary and Wikipedia I used a lot today, .org. So thigh, THI, is also pi. It also means water, breast, blood, taking an exam. Also think, imagine, consider, believe, suppose. So it's very much giving me the transit or the journey of the heart to the head. That connection, the connection of the flames. And so blood red was also coming up here because R kept coming up, and it's so funny because online, literally one of the headers came up that R is for red, and R came up by itself twice in the code line. And R is for red came up with chapter 5, which comes up again, and then flickering flames. Okay? So the flickering flames of the red, orange, and yellow, and white. And then RA came up with Ra. Okay? So the flames and Ra, R is for red, chapter 5, and they all come up again. And then a ranch at Star Path came up from Tucson, Arizona, and that will tie in later in the read. And also actions of -AC transit came up as a header from San Diego, but actions wasn't spelled AC, it was spelled A and then the symbol for lira. So that A and then the L for lira, and then TIONS was kind of interesting. And then 4S Ranch in California came up. And then transit.wiki, the free guide to transportation, buses, and ferries came up, as well as Quora. And when your twin flame doesn't recognize you, from Soul Travel Rules came up. And it was just saying, if it doesn't recognize you right away, that's for the good, because they're not ready to receive you, and you're not going to want to be with them because they have addictions or codependencies or whatever their issues are, and just be patient. Also, THC-A came up. Crystals, 99% purity. Are you brave enough to try it? Was the header. I'm just bringing that up quickly. But the THI, also THR came up, and that's just came up as the symbol for 309. 309, that's so funny. 309 is one of the highways nearby me, but that's coming up too. So 309, that's so funny. It literally says 309, and I didn't get that before. So, and that is, that's probably the highway that's closest to my house, 309. But I don't know if it's how it's pronounced. But anyway, that's the symbol for THR. And then ALC, ALCH, like alchemy or alcoholic was coming up. But it also is a Spanish slang for being agreeable. But it's very informal, and not to use it with someone, who speaks Spanish. And also just it's the high alchemy. So alchemy was just coming up for alch either way, which is ancient branch of natural philosophy. So coming up with the code again here. Take the high road. Imagine, believe. Pi, or meaning center yourself, the line down the middle of the circle, which is the human embodiment of source energy. Center yourself, the masculine and the feminine. That blood, or the red fluid, the water emotions, right? Because blood has to have water. It has to be water-based to actually flow. So the red of the blood and the fluid, the water emotions, are at the center of all of us. The 4 of stability, which represents the heart, that's the stability for us, the 4th chakra. And the Emperor, of Christ, the Father and the Son, do not work without blood if you are human, right? So it's saying not only your children are blood, all humans are your blood relatives. The root, the red, all from the same tree trunk, the same roots. The center transit, the red bloodline. The council and wolf were coming up also as meanings here. The aorta, the blood that leads to the heart, or pumps out from the heart. And the IVC would be the vein that comes back to the heart. But it's just referencing the connection of the bloodline within yourself and to others. The root to heart to head and back connection, the alchemy. The Ralph, the Alps, the ouch. The council at the top of the mountain, hurts. So then I was guided to Moses and the mountain. So first I was guided to Muhammad in the mountain. If you can't bring it, if you can't bring them to the mountain, bring the mountain to them. But Muhammad in the mountain, and then Mount Olympus came up. That humans could not see the top of Mount Olympus, shrouded by clouds obscuring the peaks of that all the gods would have their palaces within the mountain, and the muses at the foot of the mountain, which was referencing when I saw the Statue of Liberty, when the Palladians came in to the Statue of Liberty and I saw angels below. I immediately got that reference when I read this. So the god of Mount Olympus, or the gods, and then the muses down below, the angels. So the angels are the muses of the gods. That they drank ambrosia to perpetuate their immortality Their blood then replaced by ichor, I'm not sure how it's pronounced, ICHOR, which is toxic to humans, so you can only take it if you're a god. So Moses to the top of the mountain in Mount Sinai, it was coming up in my message there that it hurts to hear from the man at the top, or God, or Christ, or whatever religion it is describing this. So then the red was coming up for the R's in the coding because of the Red Sea. So it was guiding me to Moses in that story, which I had to look up, because even though I know the general stories of all that stuff, I didn't have a religious upbringing, so I usually need to, go online to read about it. So I was guided to Exodus 34:28, and that was BibleView.org that I used. But anyway, it was referencing the 40 days and 40 nights, no bread and no water, and the 10 Commandments inscribed by the finger of God, or then the Yod. So then Deuteronomy came up as well, 9:18, which was my birthday, so of course I had to look at that. And that was the second time of 40 days and 40 nights, no bread or water for all the sin you had committed in doing what was evil in the Lord's sight and provoking him to anger. Moses told Aaron and 2 sons to come up also, and 70 elders, one of which was Joshua, who waited for Moses when the others left. And in this one description of the story, the people didn't want to worship God. They wanted a deity. So that's when the golden calf was made as a deity, and then when Moses came down, he smashed it on the ground, and then that's when he dropped the commandments and broke them. So he had to go back up. But it's because God had just told them not to worship a deity. But the people didn't want to worship God. They wanted something more man-like that they could relate to. So anyway, you guys can read the story if you want to. But, so then angry at Aaron, Moses was told that the righteous would be blessed and the wicked would have to die. So he's passing this on to the Israelites. So Jesus then God told Moses to bring 2 new stones again that he would write, and then guided to build a tabernacle or a holy temple where you could hear about Jesus, who would then come and then they could make sacrifices there as well. So like the beginnings of the church. And then it references Jesus putting a cloud above this tabernacle in the day and then fire at night, so they would always know that Jesus or God was there, that when the cloud moved, they moved the tabernacle. Some of this was coming up from Latter-day Saints too. So, and it doesn't matter what religion it is, it's not the point, it's the guided message that I'm getting, okay? So led out of Egypt to Canaan, and then the Israelites had complained and had no faith, so they were sent back to the wilderness for 40 years. And then by the time the 40 years were up, Moses would be 120 years old, then allowed to go back to the promised land again. So a lot of this came up in Exodus, the escape of the Israelites led by Moses from the Egyptians. So then it brings up the parting of the Red Sea, which was described as the southeast, which is coming up a lot lately, from Egypt, which was about 1,200 miles, so 12 is coming up again, through the strait that connects to the Gulf on Aden, or Aden, however it's pronounced, that then would continue to the Arabian Sea. So Moses holds his staff, and the sea is parted by God, and they cross on the sea bottom, and then the sea closes up on the Egyptians. So that could be a Freudian slip for sure. Very interesting there, because we have the indigo child there, which is the magician, as the underlying energy there, and that could actually, you would think it represents the divine masculine. It's reverse energy today, but when I was clarifying with my Kipper deck, it was coming up as the karmic energy. So the sea closes in on the Egyptians, following them, and then there's a strong eastern wind. So it goes into these 4 layers in the narrative of how this all happened, right? The first one being that God blows the sea back with the strong east wind, then Moses puts his hand out and parts the waters and builds the two walls. And then God clogs the chariot wheels, or whatever story is told. It doesn't really matter which one. And the Egyptians flee. And then the fourth one being the song of the sea, that God cast the Egyptian into Tehemet, the oceanic depths or mythical abyss. So anyway, it goes into more stuff about this, but it kept leading me to the different words and what they meant and translations of them. So the place at the parting of the seas, they call the Red Sea, parting of the Red Seas, but the actual location is, it's Yam Suf. And they're saying that the Suf doesn't actually mean red, it means reed, R-E-E-D. And the reference to the Red Sea doesn't have to have been that, but it could have been. It could have just been referencing the Red Sea. But it also could have just been a misinterpretation of language where it wasn't supposed to be red, it was supposed to be the reeds. Suf, the S-U-P-H, also puns the word that means storm, and S-O-P-H, which means end, and that brings Soph, Sophia, and the end, which then brings me down to, an end is Exodus, right? See the events of Exodus and the Soph, or the end. The Sea of Reeds, or the Reed Sea. The Soph also means flags, weeds, rushes, and papyrus, possibly. Also could mean to cease or come to an end. So again, the end comes up here in the Reed Sea, Lake Timsah. And another far deeper Red Sea would allow a more dramatic event. So depending on who's telling the story, how it's told, it could have happened at this lake as opposed to the deep sea. So it might have been much more realistic for this lake to have parted with the winds to walk on the bottom of it. And then the Eastern Nile Delta came up in reference to that location of where the sea actually parted. And you notice that Eastern Nile Delta, the acronym is END, end. And then reversed would be Northeast, which I get all the time as well, but Northeast Delta, or NED, is NED. The natural wind occurrence could have parted the water there at the lake as opposed to the deep Red Sea. So getting back to the code line and why all this stuff came up, and as I noticed the code stuff, I was also getting that en.m.wikipedia that I always use is En for me is code Jesus, and M is code Mary Magdalene. So it was cracking me up. They always do this. They bring up the craziest stuff. Okay, so we're back to the code line now and the individuality, the high road, Mount Sinai, Mount Olympus, and the Yam Suf, the Red Sea crossing, the Reed Sea, and I apologize if I don't say them right. I'm sure I'm not, but the Saf of the end, and the Supa, or the storm, the Sophia, and the Eastern Nile Delta. And then I was getting, when I wrote Eastern Nile, I was getting the contrast between Sophia and Cleopatra of the Egyptians. All right, so Sophia being the god feminine energy and Cleopatra being the Egyptian energy, and the parting of the Red Seas with the Egyptians after Moses. And then the Delta, which is the triangle or the change, which is the storm. So that was very cool that came up. I was getting the bridge across the lake or the sea to Canaan, and then the high road, the Red Sea alchemy, the 4 steps to Christ, the student of the flame, and the cloud above it, that transit, the journey, the individuality, the in, divine, dual, I am, toggle up, Y, the I am presence, the Moses is toggling upward, the Y in the road, the parting of the Red Sea, the parting of the seas, and then it takes us back to the 4 steps. And I was getting that the 1, 2, and 4 steps were more important than the third. The third can vary depending on the story. So the first again was God blowing the sea back with the east wind, the strong east wind. 2 is Moses with his staff parts and builds the walls of water, right? So here we have Emperor God, and then Moses being the student. The third one being how the Egyptians were taken down, whether it was just clogging up the wheels of their chariots or, waters coming back in and taking them away. So the fourth one is the God casts casts the Egyptians off into the abyss, which is the song of the sea. So this is the music. And music comes in here as underlying energy for the read today. So I never would have referenced the parting of the Red Sea or Moses at the mountain and the Ten Commandments having anything to do with music today, but this is Spirit bringing that connection here, okay? So the music of the spheres, the song of the sea, the parting of the waters. And if you can't bring Muhammad to the mountain, is God bringing the mountain to you, okay? Parting of the seas. So where God teaches Moses transmutation, this is where God, it's telling us, this is where God was teaching Moses transmutation and alchemy. That the Milky Way was also coming up as the clouds at day. And you remember, if you've been watching me, I was getting autocumulus clouds. So it was bringing up those clouds that would follow around the tabernacle, wherever they went. So whenever the cloud would move, they would move the tabernacle of Jesus or God. So I was also getting, though, the reference of the Milky Way being the clouds. And the fire by night, so the clouds at day and fire by night to follow God and Jesus. The fire at night would be the moon's light, reminding you that the sun is still present. Your life source is still there, okay? So then AC Transit was coming up, and 4S Ranch, and the Star Pass that I got in my code lines, and Route 5, Sun Valley. So that was giving me, after the 4 steps, the Route 5 that was coming up in the headers was denoting the desert bottom of the sea when there's no water on it, which is so weird because that card I showed you yesterday that's in the Kipper deck literally shows a ship going across the sea with no water in it. So again, it was referencing the parting of the Red Seas. Very cool. So again, the AC for autocumulus clouds and the Milky Way, and then the 4S for the Sophia and the Emperor, the Christ Sophia, and the Milky Way. So as we get into the read, so this was very cool, bringing up all of the Moses stuff and the parting of the Red Sea. The indigo card starts off the read, the magician student, but is reversed, showing insecurities and manipulation. And then manipulations are always stemming from insecurities of the child. So the moon was coming up upright, the 5 of Swords reversed, which is like ending the war within, the war without. The THI or THR, the 3 crystals of the Trinity upright, which is like the workplace or the place of co-creation, the coming together. So the child, the wizard child, insecure of the moon, ends the war of Trinity, the workplace, the place of co-creation. There's some kind of laying down of swords here. A family cycle complete emotionally, or just complete unhappiness with no fulfillment, dumping family and a group, emptying 13 cups, 10 plus 3, to completely end into the next dimension. And again, the end is coming up as that delta, the Eastern Nile Delta. And you know, Eastern, when we're talking about directions, is the divine feminine. The Nile is going off path, right? Because the Egyptian path or the Cleopatra, and then the delta of the place where the water pools, the emotional pools, in order for you to be able to change direction. It's that Y in the road. So into the next dimension, letting go to repair for the masculine here, fixing things and working less, more enjoyable pace to align with details and creative work. When the moon is up, the swords go down, ending the war and possibly apologies at work. And that was 108 of the Magician and the Strength card. At night, someone may be sneaking around or out to help others or share or coming clean, making restitution or retribution to unhappy families due to unhappy child with emotional difficulties, emotional immaturity, vulnerability, rejection, or the crybaby of the family, always teased, getting over the grief, the loss, the regret, the shame and guilt, getting over self, and dumping everything at once. All right, this is coming up for the masculine. Leaving emotions behind to focus more on practicalities and work in a new, calm, aligned way without holding on or clinging to things. A more open to free-flowing work environment, leaving the fears behind. The angel made an appearance, so someone might have seen an angel out of the corner of their eye for the masculine, or it could have been a child with a masculine as well, or just openly being patient, one step at a time. Through the Red Sea, the Yam Suf, the Y in the road, the Y I am, Yam, Y, right? Choosing a path. The Y, instead of the I am present, it's the Y am, Sophia. So the I am presence and the Y am, Sophia, the feminine presence. Choosing a path. I am where all begins. This is the masculine going more into their feminine. I am where all begins and ends. The Y with Aaron and Moses and Sophia, the feminine aspect of God. Walking away within through rest, focused thought, prayer, and meditation, 40 days and 40 nights. The Empress reversed gets angry when not well fed. Unrequited love comes up here, and beneath it was attraction. The angels out and about, connecting, out with people, but also connecting in 5D, and that was at 121, the magician and the world, right? Making magic, manifesting out in the world, or the inner world, connecting, and the Empress reversed is not happy about it. Passionate exchange, out and about, and a new life, the Empress reversed in a sudden jealous rage, with the King of Wands reversed, or a naked rage, or someone or a mother lost it running around naked outside and had to be dragged in, kicking and screaming, or dealing with a child like this. So this definitely obviously has to do with people with mental disabilities, like someone who has Alzheimer's, which my mother used to do stuff like that all the time, or a child with disabilities, or drunk, or just acting up. I'm definitely seeing someone being dragged back in the house though. Or there's race issues coming up here, or superiority issues just in general, of the red boot, which always comes up as the karmic with the red boots, walking all over the masculine. But the race issues of the red boot and the family crest snobbery, the cowboy, and the royalty. The royal tea, so that could reference a couple different things, but maybe royal tea, the drink, and the fleur-de-lis, seashells and dead bugs, partying the Red Sea with her red boots right all over you, divine masculine, and maybe a few royal Dalton plates thrown across the room or broken. Someone with an axe to grind. The red versus the gang green, so again, gang kind of goes against green because the whole principle of a gang is ganging up against people, right? Has a negative connotation. So the red versus the gang green versus the Mary Magdalene buttercup yellow with a soothing hug. Parenting comes up for the masculine as number 63, which is that 9 of Swords energy. And then underneath that was personal growth. So this parenting can have to do with the masculine parenting his children, but it can also have to do with parenting his parents and having people parent him. So it goes all ways here. The depression of the Page of Cups, the Knight of Wands, and the King of Wands, with someone's foot caught in the spokes, chained in a false fire, or false light, or a false sun, or throwing stars, or took kids to a magic show to get over depression, especially for the King of Swords reversed. Or the King of Wands is getting out of there, with the Page of Cups losing hope, while the Knight of Wands stays with or is taking the King of Swords reversed somewhere, or taking him out whether he likes it or not to get him over his depression. The Knight of Wands is over it, going through the woods to grandmother's house. The King of Swords drinking alone, or drunk and out of control, or just really depressed, getting dragged out against their will. So whether they're getting dragged back in the house or dragged to their mother's house to do something about this, there may be an intervention happening here. So Pisces or Capricorn and Aquarian energies there, and fire could just be two brothers having a knockdown, drag-out fight or intervention. This is at 148. 1 is the Magician and 48 is the 8 of Cups. So at this intervention or fight, the kids could just be them fighting, because they're acting like little kids again. Or it could be that their kids are present watching them fight, and or that's just the baby brother, and then the other one is the brother who's dominating again, the big brother. So that's another wound, the big brother, little brother. The one who gets all the attention because they're the baby, and the one that's the oldest who gets all the fire, right? And then gets to be the boss. 149 is the magician and the Nine of Cups getting their wish, finding happiness on your own. The King of Swords reversed and the Indigo Child reversed. And again, this can represent the masculine and a karmic or one of his children. Getting over themselves, the grief or guilt and shame, and two different conflicts here. The King of Wands reversed and Empress reversed, where there's jealousy concerned, and then the King of Wands upright and the King of Swords reversed. Could be intervention where the King of Wands dragged the King of Swords reversed to the Empress reversed or grandmother's house with the help of two kids because someone's very depressed and they can't get them out of the house. But then the Empress reversed could be pissed about it, or just they're all upset about the whole thing, okay? Or the intervention is on the Empress reversed who's out of control with the help of the King of Wands, who then deals with the King of Swords reversed and kids after the fact. The King of Swords depressed, the Divine Masculine may have dealt with all of this all weekend and then back to work the next day to fix what was broken. All right, so if someone had a fight or a temper tantrum, there may have been things broken, whether it was at the workplace or at the house, or both. So again, this can be multiple different people. It can be a mother who's losing their mind because they're getting Alzheimer's or something like that, who's literally running outside the house naked, or it could be a child drunk doing the same thing because they hate it at home and they're rebelling against their parents, or it can be the Divine Masculine who's just really depressed and won't leave the house, or they're drunk and being out of order. But it could have been a very drunken family party where someone came clean in front of the whole family. Sagittarius, Cancer, Scorpio, okay, but Aquarius, Capricorn, Pisces, and Virgo, Gemini, and Taurus, not so much okay. All right, so some could be okay with whatever came out, and then others not. The King of Swords, insecurities and or manipulation, and that could be someone else. So the King of Swords reversed could be the insecure manipulative one, or that can be the karmic of the indigo reverse, the magician reversed energy, being insecure and manipulative. So it can be either way. It could be a child as well. But they have it out. They had it out with the Empress reversed and the King of Wands reversed, or just so over it and done, the parenting thing. So someone who's parenting their kids or parenting other people that shouldn't be their responsibility. Looks like a mom or grandmother, 2 sons and 2 grandchildren involved there. Now the King of Wands in one situation is upright and the other reversed. So it could be 2 separate King of Wands or the same one, and one's after the fact where he's no longer reversed anymore, or vice versa. So in the recent past is the Chariot reversed. So there's definitely their energies of someone on a rampage or a riot or the warpath or just stuck or blocked, expressing feelings or an energetic exchange, complete, or with sealed divine feminine, or there's a sudden disconnect and the King of Wands reversed can't take it anymore, weak or out of control or ego death, an explosion, epiphany, or Scorpio upright and Leo reversed, did an intervention on the King of Wands reversed at family party or gathering or a reading of a will. So again, the King of Swords reversed, or it can be King of Wands reversed too. So whoever it is, either one can be the Divine Masculine, or both of them could be the Divine Masculine, or neither one is the Divine Masculine. Okay? But it looks like a family reading of a will or something like that, or just coming out with the whole family there. Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio, and Leo, and Capricorn or Pisces, possibly in spirit, still overworking. So someone, a father who might have passed recently, someone who just was a workaholic their whole life, but was coming up here as being there in spirit, or hanging in limbo and not working. Cancer, and there could be 2 Cancers here, one upright, one reversed, and Aquarius reversed, Capricorn or Pisces reversed, Gemini or a Virgo reversed, energies here, or a block party, or expressing feelings, energy, or travel around the world, a breakup or not seeing eye to eye, or a car broke down suddenly, or a move or travel plans were canceled. Suddenly, in a heated exchange with the King of Wands reversed out of control at families, or about the family money, business, or inheritance. The foundation is reflection of the Hermit reversed, coming out about options or synchronicities or orchestration of self-happiness, getting his wish, or the Wizard coming out from behind the curtain, or the Iron Curtain came up as well, choosing left or the more feminine, the new path, whether the others like it or not. The King of Pentacles may have been sneaky or half-truths, or now coming clean to it, or about the Queen of Pentacles reversed, near death spiritually, or clinging to a marriage in a divorce process, or the Queen of Pentacles reversed could be Scorpio and Taurus, or it's three separate people, the Queen of Pentacles reversed, Scorpio reversed, and Taurus reversed, inspiring the Divine Masculine, or Page of Wands child, or inspired them to come clean, to be happy with self, to find self-satisfaction. The synchronicities and manifesting and airing dirty laundry inspires him, or whoever this Page of Wands is, which is definitely coming up as the masculine when I clarified it. 218 is the High Priestess and the Moon. The Taurus being clingy or overly nice or too kind, and it may be driving the masculine crazy, or someone who won't be quiet or is always negative to him. This is him complaining about the karmic energy around him. So then with the Romance Angel cards, the underlying energies were attraction and unrequited love, with this High Priestess and the Moon energies at 218. Taurus, Scorpio, Virgo, Sagittarius, and Cancer energies here. They could be Sun, Moon, or Rising. It doesn't have to be a sun sign. The Hermit or Virgo over isolating or now coming out of hiding. Centrally is the Lovers reversed. The Libra and Taurus, also Gemini, Aquarius, and Virgo, maybe Aries, possibly. A prisoner or a hostage, or just the anxieties of overworking and or not working, trapped by never having enough, betrayed and in painful ending, or back pain or massages to heal and dream of coming out of or out with messages of truth. So it's like someone saying, you know, how trapped they feel, whether work or home, or actually I was getting one message where someone's just going to get massages because that's the only peace they ever get to themselves. Or Aquarius or Virgo, and Virgo or Gemini, there may be a love offer there, but every time the masculine tries to do what they want to do, people or blocks get in their way. First love offered and blocked, and then messenger of truth offered and then blocked, and then in dreams, coming into their dream state, and very, very painful, reaping rewards of being in prison at work, a hostage at work, or anxieties of overworking it, trying to see all perspectives of the situation. The challenge being the Page of Wands, the masked boy with the burning desire. The breakup or disconnect is clear, clarity about the war within self, laying down swords as weapons, apologizing, no affection or vacillating with the High Priestess, secret or his own psychic abilities, or a need for quiet, alone time. Clearly disconnect in chaos with the Queen of Wands, the Queen of Pentacles reversed, and the Queen of Cups all here. Actually, there'd be a Queen of Pentacles upright and reversed, but it doesn't really matter. It's just coming up as three queens together, which can definitely be like a wife and kids, or three people at work. I was definitely getting those, both of those different situations. But affections being blocked by stubbornness between Cancer reversed, Capricorn reversed, and Taurus reversed, with possible Virgo between, or just refusal to move or work, causing instability, bad luck, or reversal of fortune in the home and marriage. Coming out without affection or a breakup in chaos, on the warpath, stubborn, disabled, or unable to work or go forward, but in chaos and detox, moving homes and or ending a marriage or commitment, tradition, church, establishment, breaking up with the old way of doing things. The Page of Wands inspired and clear about it, period, like he's putting his foot down. Standing ground, standing up for himself. The Queen of Swords talks about purging, suffering, stress, up nights, crying. And the Queen of Cups, the Queen of Pentacles reversed, and the Queen of Wands are chaotic, always detoxing and frustrated and bossy. Women taking over the home, or talking at home about sexual energy being the devil's work, and constantly cleaning the home, or using blocking sex to get their way, or no matter what, he is just not aroused. Now, crowning is the Two of Swords reversed, with new information of clarity about healing, forgiving, or hurt feelings, about sharing and saving and having alone time. The King of Swords, disgruntled. He's coming up reversed for sure. He is surrendering to an offer of love or to offer love, or to the Knight of Cups. Now with clarity about lies, a split, and the BS, or constant stress and sleepless nights. The King of Swords reversed with nothing left to give. Depleted, abandoned, destitute, prisoner in his own home, with energy vampires constantly stressing him out, constantly having to give in after fights or conflicts or sports events, to stubbornness, to have any truth and balance, right? So he has to give in just to have any peace, any truth and balance, any justice, or even in a divorce situation. Or Libra just doesn't fight. So for him to have to deal with all the fighting is really stressing him out. So the Queen of Cups is coming up as in protest or strike. The Queen of Pentacles is coming up as gossiping or overindulging in antisocial behavior. And the Queen of Wands is constantly on his butt about something, cracking the whip or demeaning him in front of the children. Things that should just be between them, or refusing to talk or won't shut up, always getting over something, a million excuses, threatening to leave or kicking him out for the last time. I have had enough. Not lying to himself about energy stealing and stubbornness and overindulging his own issues, not fighting, and him not having fought for a divorce or to get justice for himself. Or the Queen of Swords is blocked, unable to work, or paralyzed in detoxing the devil, unstable, purging, up nights, having energy drained, or just talking about it. And the Dark Knight, the Queen of Cups, could be a high priestess or intuitive or secretive and stubborn, or unable to work or move or lazy, whereas the Queen of Pentacles won't decide and is overindulgent and unemotional, not affectionate, or tired of fighting within self for affection. Breaking up to end the war, and the Queen of Wands, judgmental, calling out everyone else's issues and telling everyone what to do or how to live their life, yet doesn't take their own advice, or needs so much information all the time because totally disconnected from herself, in detox, or not even entertaining what someone else wants, and needs to get over herself. So soon for the masculine comes up the Messenger of Truth, or the Knight of Swords. And in this deck, again, it's very much about 5D messages being passed back and forth. The King of Pentacles talks about possibly manifesting and savings and rewards. And this could come up as a blog for some of the masculines getting out there now and speaking their truth. But it's coming up from a different perspective of the feminine. They're coming up with manifesting savings and rewards, and being the teacher and the student, burdened by disconnect and a need for more information. The Queen of Wands is resistant to a negative past, her own childhood issues, or difficult kids, or the past returning to haunt her. The Knight of Wands reversed and the Page of Cups upright are totally dependent and can't stand up for themselves. So this could be some of the masculines complaining that because of the way the karmic raised the children, they're totally dependent and can't think for themselves or stand up for themselves. So the Knight of Wands reverse is coming up here as holding back passions, frazzled, inactive, or playing others, right? So messing with others' minds, or maybe sleeping around, or falling short. And the Page of Cups is coming up as I'm the baby, gotta love me, but financially draining and powerless. Or the Divine Masculine tired of dealing with banging his head on the wall with the Queen of Wands and negative attitude of kids, while he receives messages of love, and powerless, and yet they're still standing up for themselves. The 5D messages sent and received. He's seeing himself as the Temperance, the Patience, the Angel, the patient and balanced person starting over and not settling this time. The Queen of Cups and the Queen of Swords at work can battle it out themselves, or they can leave. Plenty of others in need of help or a job. So definitely if there's been disgruntled people at work, it's like nobody's thinking for themselves, and the masculine may be sick of telling everybody what they have to do, like every step of the way, instead of them thinking for themselves. Or it could be vice versa. They're tired of him not making decisions. But this is finally the masculine saying if they don't like it, they can leave. They can either figure it out on their own or leave. There's plenty of others in need of help or a job. So that can be vice versa, like them getting jobs elsewhere or him being able to hire new people. Or two opportunists are kicked out of a workplace or a place of co-creation. Or two who are down on their luck are now pulled in and given an opportunity to work. And that was 319, which is the Empress and the Sun. And that can represent, the mother and the divine masculine. So as we turn the page, it's 320, which is the Empress and the Judgment. He's been patient long enough. This is coming from the masculine still. And a masculine may even leave the workplace. Pay attention to the red flags, past life relationship. Release your ex comes up again. Deception comes up, and then forgiving and learning for the masculine. Like this is the divine spirit, the energy come in, all of the negative cards coming up for him saying, pay attention to your guidance. All right, this is a past life relationship. Release your ex. There's deception going on. Forgive and learn. Or the masculine revamping his workplace with intuitive healing as well as messages of support to help more with injuries, the poor and disabled, and those in need of help. Or offering a few free services to those who are in need of a hand up, not a hand out. Around him, or how he's seen, is the Four of Cups reversed, no longer feeling stranded on an island unto himself at night, with a wake-up call and announcements, performances, just watching YouTube, juggling new patterns to stay balanced, keeping it close to the center or to 0 point. Not too serious now, but Sirius B, the white dwarf, haha, who's very dense, you see, packs in a lot. Don't underestimate that energy, the power of its wallop. And then I was getting kapow, like the comic strip, and then cause, like energy, and then the POW, the energy of the prisoner of war, the grieving contained and transmuted and alchemized into the gold coin, the Christ light, the consciousness. Don't underestimate the power of the Lamb, okay? So clear blocks of portals, shifting dimensions, as well as any clinging to life or clinging to death. A natural process, allow it to be, to start a new life. The big gold coin, a fresh new start, a fresh new perspective, hanging out to be wise. When the wheel's reversed, what goes up must come down and vice versa. There's always a turnaround. If you are patient, it's time to see new perspectives when the wheel is reversed. Individuality came up, but even more so music and music of the spheres and the music of the parting of the seas came up today. But all business, no love, getting wish of alone time, or time to be what did I write here? Time to be more your individual self, have alone time to be who you are. Be happy with yourself. After ending a family, a cycle, there's new love, self-love, spiritual love, and reining in his sexual energy to be strong at home, or union, or detoxing Leo or ego at home. All right, so controlling his third energy and using it, pulling it up to use for his creative energies, for his co-creation. And again, this is paralleling Moses and the parting of the Red Seas. The emperor loving himself by holding back the sexual energy, the third energy, and reaping rewards from it. The King of Swords reversed, getting over themselves at present, or being more present, dumping all of his cups to be in the moment, loving self by leaving, or someone is tossed out. There's a new love, the King of Swords reversed, and the Queen of Wands upright are purging, suffering, stressed up nights, crying, or just going through the purging cycles, drained, ill or sick, overexposed or radiated, or just too much time in the sun, finding peace, going to a place of sharing for the masculine, or taking kids back and forth between homes or activities. The King of Cups reverse comes up here, emotionally detaching for good news, success, and to lead the way to freedom and joy, taking a leap of faith. So the masculine taking himself out of the loop, detaching himself emotionally as to not get pulled in by every little thing, wanting to save everybody. So the indigo reversed and the hermit reversed, patient to start over and cancel a move and or trip or just a breakup, challenged by inspiration and 5D messages, and a near-death experience or portal and gate, any of those experiences to gain clarity in love. And that's at 343, which is the Empress and the Three of Cups, being able to come together more. So the indigo reversed is coming up as broken or on the warpath, or canceling the move or trip, coming out, or the hermit reversed without affection, or just at a breakup and now clarified, getting clarification, having new information, challenged by inspiration and desire. The patient angel with the 5D messages starting over in love before death becomes him. New love and freedom, taking a leap of faith. And this ends with the Fool, taking a leap of faith. So that was very powerful energy at the end there. So we have the Ace of Cups at the end there, and I'll take you around the board to show you the cards real quick. And then I'm going to get into the 12 signs. But I wanted to tell you with my Kipper deck, I don't have the cards still down there on the table because I wanted to put them out with the 12 signs. But the Page of Wands I clarified as being at the house, the mature man with the 2 to 3 girls there, one maybe being courted. All right, so the masculine with whether it's just children or a wife and children or a girlfriend and children, it was coming up as the house, so it seemed more like a home, not a business. Unless their business is at home, then this could also be 2 to 3 girls who work with him. But the mature man with 2 to 3 girls, one being courted. So that could be a child who's being courted or someone who works for the masculine being courted. Or the mature man at home with one woman thinking of another woman. And then the Knight of Swords energy was coming up as judication of a man thinking of a woman, a coffin, and a wealthy man. So thinking of wealth through ending a marriage or an inheritance coming to them. And a masculine be thinking, does he really have to wait until death to do us part, right? Because he just can't take it anymore. Marriage to a mature woman coming up, or marrying off their child to a wealthy man. Or a father who was dying arranged a marriage for his daughter or wife so she'd be secure after he passed, or after he left a marriage. And that was coming up for the night, all under the Knight of Swords. Under the indigo reversed came up privileged lady. So that it could be the masculine, but also can be a karmic in his energy at home. But a privileged lady, courtship and poverty. So is getting a man who marries for money, or did in the past, okay? So in the past, and this could even have been the divine masculine, maybe he got married to his karmic for money reasons, or who knows, could have been a shotgun wedding as well. But then a wealthy girl, insecure, married the poor boy to save him and give him a home and a job and a standing in the community. So it could have been both ways, like it wasn't for love, but one married for the money and stability, and the other one married due to their insecurities. So now telling, so the family around the masculine or the karmic could be telling them there's a false person leading him astray, sending the divine masculine packing, the family keeping the divine masculine away from the divine feminine, after a message and despair, some kind of note of concern, okay? So there's definitely energies of, there's either a false person literally in his house or community that's constantly in his ear, or his family telling him that his divine feminine is a false person who's just after his money or something like that. Then we have the hermit reverse coming up as the false person in his home or community or living room, on a journey with expectations, so can definitely represent the divine feminine. Could also be a shotgun wedding or just giving a child away in marriage, or someone marrying for money or being told that someone is a thief and only wants you for your money. The family telling the divine masculine that the divine feminine is a fake person or a false person, or the false person is literally in the divine masculine's ear, sending him on a wild goose chase to keep them apart. All right, so that was all coming up around that. So I'm going to show you the cards now, and then I'm going to get into the 12 cards that I put out. All right, so I told you the cards already, but just so you can see, you have the indigo child there at the bottom there, the chariot in the recent past, the reflection or hermit card is right there. The other underlying energies here, and that's where that The King of Swords is reversed a couple times. And then that green there is the Lover's card with the rainbow energy in the middle, challenged by that masked boy of flames or wands, the Page of Wands. The crowning card is that Two of Swords or Two of Orbs, and then we bridge across here to the near future card, which you can't see very well either because a lot of clutter going on here in his life. The Knight of Swords coming up there. The masculine sees himself as the Temperance or Alchemy card with the Romance Angel cards around him. And then around him on the other side is the Four of Cups or Four of Chalices in this deck. The blocks he needs to clear is the Transition card or the Death card. And then up here we have the number cards, and it ends on the Ace of Cups, which was upright. The King of Swords, however, was reversed, and the Queen of Wands was upright. And then the Nine of Swords was there too. So it's definitely suffering, stress, all that kind of stuff going on there. But it's in order, it's like the masculine going through the purges on purpose to free himself. So that was very interesting. And then we have the 12 cards here. Up top is just the underlying energies. And then with the unexpected income is Aries. The cards beneath I'll show you in a minute. It goes across until we get down to the last card, which is Pisces, toil and labor. And then we have other cards down here as well to summarize, okay? So I'm going to get to that now. Let me just get this back up here for you. All right. All right, so, and I'm going to clarify with my mini deck as well. So again, these are the, up top we have the Three of Pentacles. That was the bottom of the deck. So the second card down was the Two of Cups, and then the Seven of Pentacles, and then the Eight of Swords reversed over there. This would be the fifth card down here, which is the Four of Swords reversed. So this for me is about, you know, not being able to sleep at night. Rising above can be coming out as well. Or it could be literally levitating above, like floating above because you haven't slept. So this column is fire signs. This is earth, air, and water as far as the columns, okay? So I'll go over them as I go through each sign, but I want to shuffle the deck first here. The mini deck I'm using. So I'm using the Rider-Waite mini deck. Take a deep breath because there's a lot of stress coming in from this read. Take a deep breath. So with rising above, possibly not getting sleep, maybe not connecting the 5D like you're used to. Up top, as if we go across, just going through the underlying energies, we have coming from this to being released from anxiety or imprisonment of any kind, and then reaping the rewards of having saved your money or just the good things in life, but in a very practical way, and then coming together, seeing eye to eye. Definitely could be soulmates or twins there. And then we have the Three of Pentacles of coming together to co-create. So it's very beautiful energy. Coming out to free yourselves, to reap rewards on your own, and then come together to co-create. There's definitely a twin flame line here. Okay. All right. So now I can start. I'll start with Aries here. So Aries, what I pulled already from this is the Rider-Waite also, the standard big card deck, and then we have the Kipper deck here, okay? So Aries has the Three of Cups reversed, and then unexpected income. So someone might be out partying too much because they got some extra money, or overindulging, whatever it is, they're overdoing. Or this could be third party energy as well. But it's topped by the Three of Pentacles, this column, so it has to do with the workplace and co-creating, whether it's money or practical things. It could just be creations. But so somebody could be doing something on the side that's bringing them some extra income. But again, be careful because this card can be just dumping out emotions around things, you know, to get more functional and to earn more money. Or it can have to do with being a third party. It can have to do with gossip, overindulgences, drinking too much, partying too much. And if you have unexpected income, it's because it's not like this is because of it. It's only because of this if you've dumped out your emotions and then you're able to earn unexpected income. Or you receive the unexpected income through work or extra work or whatever it was. Or maybe you're finding extra income in doing parties for other people. But just be careful about this card. That's not the best energy of overindulging, gossip, third parties, antisocial behavior, not happiness. This is joy. So this is not joy. Okay? So this could be, it's unexpected income, so that part is good. So maybe someone who was out of work now got a new job. So that's where the unexpected money came from. But they can't overindulge anymore, which may be a good thing. They got to get back down to business, and which makes sense. You're going to all be feeling that we just went from Leo to Virgo. So your practical life is going to come more into focus, and you may actually feel more like doing practical things as opposed to going out and partying. So let's see how Aries clarifies here. All right, so Aries right away comes up with the King of Swords reversed and the Page of Pentacles. So he's either just not in his truth or just not feeling his right self, or he could be very verbally abusive in that energy. But this is someone with a student too. They could be irritated by the student asking all these questions. But maybe they're making maybe they're bringing their kid to work to make money for themselves. Maybe that's helping the masculine also make money by having their kids work with them. Or they could be bringing in an intern or a student, which will save them money because it's an extra pair of hands. But also it looks like he's kind of irritated by the whole situation. Or maybe the child has unexpected income and the King of Swords is pissed because he doesn't know where they got it from. All right, so now they're suspicious about it. And it could have to do with overindulgence. Maybe they're worried they're selling drugs on the side or whatever, How are they making their money? So there's definitely concern there from Aries about a kid or an intern. Or about the King of Swords. Maybe the child comes to help out because they're concerned about their dad, or the King of Swords, whoever it is, for the Page of Pentacles. Or the King of Swords, not in his truth, needing to study the gold coin, the Christ consciousness, to find more about himself. Maybe can earn some extra income that way. So that could be coming up too. So the Magician's coming up too, and for me a lot of times Aries, the Magician is Aries for me. So learning how to manifest or teaching others how to manifest. Or taking the kids to a magic show, Cirque du Soleil, whatever it is. Definitely can be, because the extra income hand looks like sleight of hand. So let's go to Leo with these cards here. So again, we're still in the workplace with the Three of Pentacles. So Leo has the Hermit reversed and then sudden wealth with the triple sevens there. And it's the card number 11. The other card for Aries was number 27. 27 is the Ace of Wands. 11 is justice and sudden wealth for Leo, but the Hermit's reversed. So why is that? So let's clarify that more. Why does Leo have the Hermit reversed along with sudden wealth? Okay, and they just flipped right out. I was just getting cards down at a casino. Somebody might have actually won some money at a casino. The Six of Cups reversed and the Seven of Cups reversed. So this is someone literally dumping out all their emotional attachments. And maybe they're coming out, dumping everything, and finding their wealth because they've detached from all the stuff that was draining them, the things that no longer serve them. Maybe they were over-isolating, trying to figure out, their life and their wealth, and now they're coming out, dumping everything, maybe having garage sales or whatever. Or maybe the past returned to help them get clear in their mind about dumping emotional attachments, getting more realistic with the Virgo energies now, and finding sudden wealth. And that doesn't have to be monetarily. It could just be finding real happiness. But we have triple sevens there, which is amazing. Okay, in the aftermath of sudden events. Okay. And that could be too after having avoided dealing with things for a while. Now all of a sudden dealing with things, getting rid of things you don't need, people and things, if people are difficult, getting them out of your life. or just taking your alone time, whether people like it or not. That's coming up for Leo. Also, it could be Virgo in their energy. Scorpio comes up there. And then for Aries, like I said, it could be Virgo, Gemini, or Aries energy with the Magician. And then we have the air sign. So air is Libra, Gemini, and Aquarius. But these are fire signs that we're talking about here. So Aries, Leo, and Sag. Okay, so now let's get to Sagittarius here. Sagittarius, we have the Nine of Cups and the mature woman, who's number 6. So 6 can be love, family, and community, but it also is the Lover's card. And it looks very beautiful. You have someone who's very happy with themselves, and it could be, the Sagittarius could be the mature woman who's found their self-happiness, or it could be that the Sag man has found his happiness with this mature woman. So let's see what Sagittarius has to say, and it could be through work or at work because we have the 3 of Pentacles at the top. So let's see what's coming up here for Sagittarius. Okay, there you go. There's your mature woman at or through work. Some kind of co-creation. Either this is you, Sagittarius female, with Earth in her chart, and it can be both ways too. Sagittarius, and this could be a separate female, or the Sagittarius male is very happy with himself and working with the Queen of Pentacles, or somebody met through work. So it just depends on what the situation is, but those are emotional. That's emotional happiness, whereas this is all work stuff. The Sag male may get a lot of happiness from his workplace, but it may be related to this person as well. Okay, and then we have the Page of Swords coming out as well. Actually, 2 pages. Yep, that's it. No more pages after that. He finds happiness at work away from the kids, right? Especially if he's having a tough time with kids these days. It also could just be negative messages or rejection, someone spying or feeling vulnerable, or just, you know, people at work acting like babies, like being a crybaby, and this is person just complaining all the time, blah, 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 right? Not thinking for themselves, always dependent on somebody else. So those are coming up as well. So we have, there's 3 coins, or 3 coins. So it could be at work that there's these 2 and the Queen of Pentacles at work, but these 2 act like babies, or they literally are children. Somebody's starting a business with their children, a mother and 2 kids. So that could be as well, finding their independence as a single mother. Okay, and this has to do with maybe doing something under the radar, or feeling like a failure. Maybe they failed in whatever they just left, and now they're starting over in a new business. This could be wanting to be under the radar as well. Or somebody pissed, all right? Or this can just be an old person who's, you know, losing their faculties or their physical abilities, who wants to stay under the radar because they can't deal with things anymore. Or it's someone who literally fell from grace and is pissed. Okay? And she's still at war. All right? So this is definitely someone who's at war within and without. All right? Who actually fell from grace. So I'm going to put that back in though, because we already have 4 cards out on Sagittarius. But that was good that that came out, because that's a whole nother energy. So we have, that could be a grandmother for sure, since we have the Queen of Pentacles and then 2 kids out on that situation. And that very much came up in the read today. So it could be a masculine Sagittarius with the Queen of Cups and 2 kids. And then this is the mother or mother-in-law energy, okay? All right, let's see and go to, and again, it's all surrounding the 3 of Pentacles, the workplace. For earth signs, we have the 2 of Cups, so that's more one-on-one relationships, possibly soulmates and twin flames, all that kind of stuff. So what do we have for Taurus? Why is there a coffin on Taurus? Let's see what's going on. All right, I have to pick up those cards for you too. But it clarifies with the Ace of Wands and the Knight of Swords reversed. So let me just pick this up real quick. All right, so Taurus has, I haven't even looked at these yet, but the 4 of Wands and the coffin, all right? And 4s often have to do with life and death, because it's like the root chakra issues and survival on this planet. So this is very much about, and that this is upright, so this can represent a home or a union or a death, and this could be a funeral service, literally. All right, because you know how funeral homes always look so beautiful. So So this could be going to a funeral home to purchase a coffin or a plot, because you want all your family to be buried in the same place. But it's about one-on-one. It has to do with, it could have been someone for sure who passed and maybe left their home to you. And so there's new creation, new inspiration, right? Maybe new passionate sex life as well, with a new home or coming together in union. And this has to do with, this could be verbal abuse, but it also can be holding back an announcement. Like this person was offering passion, this person was holding back. Okay? Or no matter how much verbal abuse or neglect or ignoring this person does, this one keeps coming with passion, okay? So that's definitely the energy coming in here with Taurus. Let's see what else was coming out. Yeah, see, the next card is a new beginning. So offering their gold coin for a new beginning. So I'm not getting that Knight of Swords is verbally abusive, although the person who died may have been verbally abusive to the person who they left the house to. But I'm only really getting positive energy there. We have the Four of Swords. Somebody might have inherited a lot of money, and it's a blessing for them, okay, and a home. All right? So Queen of Swords is reversed too, and they may only be reversed, the Queen and the Knight, because someone passed. So that's what I'm getting. Or someone who offered passion in the past where they kept ignoring them. Now Taurus is offering a new life to them and wondering if they're going to block them. That could be a twin thing for sure for Taurus, okay? But there's definitely one-on-one, seeing eye to eye, so there's definitely a coming together here. It could be some very beautiful energies. Someone might have come into money suddenly, okay, because there's a coffin there. But again, it could just be, like I said, it could just be being at a funeral, and it may not even be anyone in your family. It could be just as a funeral service that you're going to, or going to check out coffins if people want a plot for their family. Or maybe they're picking out coffins because they want their family to be buried at home, at the house. Kind of interesting, okay? I'm getting death of a salesman too. I don't know why. Maybe the person who passed away was a salesman. I just think it's, it could be a celebration of life too, with the coffin there present, like a viewing, but a celebration of life. So positive things talked about, even though people are sad. It's like a mixture of really happy and sad, so definitely. All right, so then we have Virgo, which has the Lovers on top with kind of a conflict too. We have the Nine of Swords reversed, and then the Lovers card. So let's see what comes up to clarify that. So the Nine of Swords reversed for me, that's all about stress and suffering. Nine is like the worst sword card in the deck, and you're not done even if it's reversed, because you still have the 10 to go to, right? So for me, that's the chronic purging cycles, because even though we're done one purge, we know that there's another one is going to come at some time. So it could just be in the chronic purging cycles, because you're on the journey with the Lovers, with the Two of Cups, and Virgo has the Lovers and the Two of Cups in the same read. So that's like totally twin flame. So let's see how it's clarifying here. All right, so we have the Eight of Pentacles reversed, the Chariot reversed, and then the Eight of Wands. So again, this came up as the recent past in the read. So that has to do with maybe some overworking, cars breaking down, being on the warpath, being stuck, right? Because you're blocking yourself, you're overworking it. It's not working because you're overworking it. Or it's time that you're finally aligned and you can be done with it. So like this is the worst of it, being done. And then all of a sudden there's this back and forth expression of feelings. It could be a heated debate. If this person's on the warpath, it can definitely be a heated argument. So it could be a breakup as well. It can be both, but I have the Two of Cups up top, upright. So it's seeing eye to eye. Or it could be a breakup where they're both on board with the breakup. They finally see eye to eye after the war and the chaos of overworking it, and nothing's ever enough, having an argument about it, and then breaking up, but they're both agreeing. That could be it as well. But it also could be that this is the past that's over with, and now there's arrows of love and exchange of energy. This could be a canceled move or a canceled trip. Or just that the car broke down or somebody went to the emergency room. And there's a lot of back and forth about it. Or somebody at work who may have been working too hard and they maybe had some kind of medical issue happen there, whether it's a heart attack or something more minor. Could be any of those things. This could be someone blocked on the internet at work as well, but finding a way to get through anyway. Let's see what else is coming. So then the death reverse card's coming up, and then death, there was a death in Taurus right above, and this could be just a near-death experience. It could be the dark night experience, right? It could be clinging to death or clinging to life. Any of those near portal things, you know, you want this upright because you want the full transformation. But it's like not quite there, and this could be just a really slow death. Yeah. So it could be any kind of ending that's just gone on forever. But finally seeing eye to eye. Or the person finally passed away and it was a Taurus. So that could be the situation for sure. So the Lovers could be breakup, but it could be upright too. Where because of a negative circumstance for somebody else, another Virgo now has union. But it also can be a breakup where they both see eye to eye on the breakup. So it goes both ways here. So let's go to, oops, sorry about that. I know they were both reversed. Okay. So then we have Capricorn here, which is the Page of Cups and the Courthouse. So Page of Cups is beautiful energy. Either can be a child, it could be a message of love, it could be an adult, it could be a new love. And there's a courthouse. So this could definitely be someone going to the courthouse to get a marriage license. Or it could just be a kid getting their driver's license. Let's see what comes up with Capricorn. And remember, there's two up top, so they're agreeable. So whatever is happening for the Page of Cups definitely is good today. Someone may be offering love and the other person is accepting it. Going to the courthouse, or just like I said, whatever friendly agreement or agreeing to divorce, so going to the courthouse to file for divorce. Or like I said, it could be a kid getting their driver's license today. So Capricorn, we have the Four of Pentacles, and then the Sun reversed, and then the Nine of Cups reversed. So someone has saved their money and being practical and grounding. It's like cards came out backwards. So someone could be just drained or sick or over-radiated or too much sun. You know, this could be just someone, you know, who's got sunstroke or something. So it's not something bad. They know they're going to be fine later. They just got too much sun. It could definitely be someone who's been sick, or someone who's just sick of saving and being moderate, right? They're over it already. They're tired of loving themselves first. And I'm getting going to the chapel and we're gonna get married. So maybe someone's sick of waiting to get married. Maybe it's a kid who's getting married and they're sick of waiting and saving money. Maybe their parents just didn't want them to get married, so they gave them, you know, some reason why they can't get married yet. Or they didn't have enough money to buy the license or whatever, and they now have, maybe going against somebody's wishes, or somebody who's sick is getting married. Or somebody's sick to death that they don't have enough. This could be somebody chucking their cookies too. But they don't look bad there. It could be someone around them. Maybe the Page of Cups is taking care Maybe their father or their mother is a lawyer and they're taking care of them because they went out drinking and got sick last night. Maybe someone who is in the legal system wants their child to follow them. Or maybe someone has a friend who's in the police who lets the child ride in the cop car. I know my mom did that for sure, so you can do that kind of thing. But we're learning what it's like to be on the other side, right? Where things aren't so sunny and things you don't always get your way. People aren't happy with themselves, or they're sick and they're of moderate means. They don't have much, but they're grounded. Or someone who has everything they need, but they're never happy and they're always unhappy. They're always complaining. So the Page of Wands, the Page of Cups is happy. I'm trying to figure this out. This is kind of a contradiction here. All right, we have the Two of Cups. The main thing is the Two of Cups and then the Page of Cups and the Courthouse. And we have 23 on the Courthouse, which is the King of Wands. So it could definitely be like a mixed blessing, because if you're an adult taking your child to get their driver's license, that's definitely a mixed blessing, because now you're scared to death that they're going to, do something bad in the car. But overall, it's a really happy event, right? So it's something like that. And it could be the same for marriage, especially if it's a child, that you're worried, But someone's not doing well. Someone's skating on thin ice. So I don't know if that's health-wise or just their attitude. Maybe someone's taking them. I'm getting that someone's taking him. Remember the scared straights that they used to do? I'm getting someone leaving their kid in jail or something, or taking them to a jail situation to scare them straight, so that they can see eye to eye, so they get where they're coming from. So that could be too, like where parents just taking their child somewhere where they will then understand better what life really is. Anyway, that's Capricorn. Or just hanging out. Maybe your child's going with you. You have to go to the courthouse or to just do legal paperwork. It doesn't have to be a courthouse. So maybe you're just doing legal paperwork and you have to it's because of a child, or your child's going with you to do the work. But they don't want to go. This is them complaining about having to go. All right, these are kind of coming up afterwards too. I'm going to put them back in. But here we have intuition, being quiet, keeping to yourself, not saying a word even though you may not be happy about the situation, feeling betrayed, feeling like it's a painful ending but not having a say in it, keeping quiet, or something they don't but you have to keep quiet about it, or this is about letting other people learn their lessons on their own, breaking patterns, dropping the facade, right? That you can only do so much. You have to let them trip and fall on their own. It's really about keeping yourself. All right, so now let's go to air signs. We have the Seven of Pentacles at the top. So very much about, you haven't made it where you can retire, but possibly you can retire. You've made some savings, and you are reaping the rewards. So maybe you're gonna hang out and enjoy it, go on vacation, or just hang home or retire. But it's not a huge amount of money. So maybe daydreaming about what you might want to do with it, or how you're going to go forward to make more money with it. So let's see what we have for Gemini. All right, so Gemini came right out. Queen of Cups and the Strength card. So it could be Queen of Cups who also has Leo and Gemini. Or this is somebody outside yourself, or two other people outside Gemini. Let's see what else is coming up for Gemini. All right, so we have Ten of Swords reversed, so definitely the worst is over. And this upright came up with Capricorn. So maybe you were on the other end of that Capricorn situation where they were worried about the betrayal and the painful ending, and you're on the other side of that. The worst is over at the courthouse. This can be home as well, but this can be both, either home or courthouse, because I think it was connected to that. So reaping the rewards, the worst is over. So this, whether it was at home, a meeting, or at the courthouse, the worst is over. And you're feeling the bliss of the swords pulling out. All right, so this could be Queen of Cups can be any water sign, so it can definitely be Cancer as well, which is right next to Gemini. Taming your inner beast, being intuitive, finding your happiness, just being at home at the house. Reaping the rewards of being home. This is Gemini. After the fight. Or after any kind of battle. All right, but there's still a need to find peace here. To get to your dreams and to heal. So someone still needs some emotional healing. After a long battle. A long painful battle. So it could have been a relative too. It might have been the Taurus relative who passed. But now reaping the rewards of it and just being able to be at home. Maybe they inherited the parents' home, so, you know, maybe with somebody else there as well. All right, so let's go to Libra, which is the Lovers and the Path. All right, so that could definitely be with the twins too. So lovers, being the lover, being affectionate, just being love, or finally, you know, coming together with your love on the path, which is a beautiful path there. With the path to the light, reaping rewards, staying at 0 point in a moderate way. What comes up for Libra? Take a deep breath. All right, so this is coming up for Libra. So somebody's free. All right, this is a King of Pentacles and a Queen of Wands reversed. And somebody free, whether it's one of them, so it could be the King of Pentacles is free, or she sets herself free, or somebody else is free from them, and she's not happy about it. All right, someone detoxing. All right, and then we have the Seven of Pentacles again, which is at the top. So the King of Pentacles with the Queen of Wands who's not happy, or maybe she's sick. Maybe someone who was very sick has passed and now they're free. Or she's just mad or tired. And then somebody's free from hell, right? A detox. So chaos is what comes before the detox. So it could be any of those situations. Someone passed after long, painful suffering. Someone went to detox and is now out of detox and free, or just going to detox and she's not happy about it. But somebody's reaping rewards of the detox. Someone's finally getting some peace. So this can reference to the King of Pentacles, okay? So what this could be definitely her. This is Aries energy. So it could be Aries, Queen of Wands, has either passed or gone to rehab to reap their rewards, or just detox, whatever it was. If they're not in rehab, maybe they, you know, quit some kind of addiction or codependency, and that's good. But either way, it looks like the King of Wands is getting some peace. The lover of the beloved, so it's like finding, like being the lover of himself, right? Reaping the rewards of just being able to be with himself and alone. So the Emperor's reversed here with the Wounded Warrior. Okay, so I'm going to put this back in the deck, but this is still for Libra. So this is Aries energy. There's also, what else? Capricorn energy, Aries. Yeah, a lot of Aries energy on Libra. So in a good way and a bad way, this can be someone out of control, but also can be someone in ego death, okay, or abusive power. But this is the Wounded Warrior, you know. This could be, if he's abused, so this is the person they abused. So maybe the Libra's abuser died, or finally got help. Or somebody's very sad about this, or sad about the Divine Feminine in reference to this. That could be the masculine, maybe the masculine feeling sad about being mean or neglectful to the Divine Feminine, because it's being seen as someone in another world, or their world incomplete without the Emperor. So it's either an abuser or the opposite, where they were just suffering and they passed, so that was good, but now they're sad about the person who passed and their world is incomplete. So there's a couple different things. Could be somebody from the neighborhood as well. All right, let's see what we have for Aquarius. So Aquarius has the Magician and High Honor. All right. So that could definitely be military, or it could be some kind of performance in the military, or it could be, you know, Cirque du Soleil comes to mind as well. So magician and high honors. What comes up for Aquarius with reaping rewards and savings? Why the magician and high honors for Aquarius? Okay, comes up again. So this might have been someone who passed, who they're celebrating their passing. Okay. So it could be the same person who is Libra and Aquarius, or Libra and Aquarius both grieving the passing of someone, or someone's a war hero. So if he's not passed, he's just maybe ill, or just, you know, maybe he's got injuries from the war because he's a wounded warrior. And maybe they're just sad to see him. If they are getting a tribute and they're still alive, others may be sad to see him not doing well, or sorry to see him go from a certain place that they've always been. Maybe they can't handle doing it, something they love to do anymore. All right, or literally, you know, has gone to another world. Or, yeah, fell from this world. Or just being just under the radar now because they can't handle. And the Empress is reversed as well. So maybe one of them fell from grace and the other can't handle being out in public because it's, you know, hard for them because they're old. So that's coming up here too. Or it could be someone who lost their spouse, obviously. And it looks like it's related to military, or just someone who was a great, like, amazing businessman, like manifested money out of nowhere, like, you know, that kind of person. All right, let's see with the water signs now. We have getting it released or getting out of prison at the top, or releasing your anxieties. And for Cancer, we have the Thief up there. So let's see what comes up for Cancer. So we have the Moon, and then the Five of Wands reversed. And then again, that Six of Swords reversed, which is no peace, not able to find peaceful water, stuck in your emotions after a fight at nighttime. So not fighting anymore at night, but after the fight, not able to find peace about it. And in their dreams. This is healing, still healing. Maybe their lack of peace is being reflected in their dreams, but they're still healing about it. And they still have, or they may not have peace yet, but they have their dreams. Or they're just happy somebody else is at peace now. But let's see what the Thief card is all about. All right, so we have the Knight of Wands reversed and the Thief. That's not good energy there for Cancer. But someone got out of prison. Literally. Someone got out of prison. And it's not a good thing. Maybe someone can't sleep at night because this person's out of jail. A Thief and the Knight of Wands reversed, who is a player. You know, this is someone who, you know, will rush in for a one-night stand, or just likes to play people. But, you know, he is more of a physical way. So it's like, you know, the pickpocket. Or someone is released from their anxiety about this person. Maybe the person who passed away was that person, and now they're released from their own mental prison because they're no longer with us. Okay. This is, I want to see what else is coming out here. At night, after the battle, this could be someone too who can't sleep at night, so they go out and do things at night, so they live more at night. They're worried about this person out of prison or getting out of prison. Or, like I said, finally released after this person passed away, except they still don't have peace yet. They just need time to let it absorb, in a way. But we have the stars and the moon, so it's like needing to... someone who doesn't want to travel, but just wants to... They like being up at night, because there's no fighting at night. But, you know, a thief in the night. Thief in the night. So again, either someone passed away that was this thief, so people are relieved, or the opposite, where someone got out of prison and now they're worried about it. Like defenseless to the energies of a divorce. So someone in a divorce, they may be a thief because they're trying to get revenge. All right? Or just defenseless to the energies or other people attacking them. To someone who's spiritual or someone in a divorce process or divorced. And a final judgment came in. All right, so that's for Cancer. Okay, so there's a move or a divorce for sure. But there's been stealing going back and forth, or there's just someone in the family who's a thief. So it could be the marital partner's brother or sister or father or mother, you know, that was always a difficult thing in this situation, but now it's worse because you're divorced. You worry they might come after you. Then I have Scorpio with the child on top. That can relate to Scorpio is the child. Or, all right, so now we have the Knight of Wands upright. But we have the Seven of Swords, guys. So that could be the same Cancer energy. So someone with Cancer and Scorpio doesn't look so hot to have. Has to do with the thief and their daughter or their granddaughter. Like where a thief wants to make sure their daughter or granddaughter is taken care of properly. So maybe running one more time. Someone who just got out of prison who doesn't want to get caught. Maybe running another job so that their daughter doesn't have to work hard, or their wife, or their granddaughter. So some kind of like that. Like it doesn't have to be someone who's normally someone who steals, or it can be. It can be both ways, but Scorpio and Cancer, if they have both energies in their chart, there's definitely some immoral or illegal activities going on there. This is someone who's powerless, with burdens, like just working too hard all their lives, and feels like their life's been stolen from them, and this is someone riding in to save the day. So in the other way, it can be very positive. This doesn't have to be a thief. It could just be someone feeling like their life was stolen from them, or that they ran from them and now they're running toward them. That can be a twin thing. Feeling like a divine masculine could feel like they were a thief in the night. And so that could be the masculine, or it could be the masculine coming in on the Cancer feminine. So either way, I'm going to put these back in. I'm sorry, that was Scorpio I meant. Yeah, I put those out of Scorpio. So Scorpio is the Ace of Swords reversed and the child. So a lie, so somebody lied about being pregnant, or lied about their child that already exists, or there's a split involving children, or just cutting through the crap in reference to a child, specifically a little girl. So 18 is coming up with the moon. And again, that was this. So like I said, it has to do with someone wanting to protect their little girl, or someone's just worked so hard, or it could be a divine feminine that the masculine felt like he took from and wants to give back now. Or that he was, maybe somebody lied and told him they were pregnant with his child, and he had to battle that in court, or any kind of lie around a child. So it could be a child that never was born, that never actually was pregnant with, or it could be an actual child. Or the Scorpio is an adult person, and it's just referencing their inner child. Okay, but again, these cards are coming up. So this could be related to the divorce situation as well. Could be somebody's child too in a divorce. Maybe thought they were pregnant, or maybe their child told someone they were pregnant so they would marry them. All right, so what's with Pisces? Pisces has toil and labor, which they're working very hard. All right, so then maybe they have some back pain, a long painful process. Someone might have fallen and hurt in their back, or they're breaking patterns of self-abuse, you know, allowing other people to hurt them. All right, so there's justice though here, but it's not quite complete. Or maybe taking a trip or coming back from a trip outside the country. But this is definitely breaking patterns or dropping the facade, or having, if they're an actor, receiving a part and then losing it. a very painful process no matter which way. And this could be betrayal, or it could just be a long, painful ending, or just back pain, or getting a massage. Maybe getting a massage too. Or flirting in the pool to release the stress. So that's Pisces. Boy, I'm sweating a lot right now. All of a sudden I got really sweaty. All right, and this is coming out too. So Pisces, that could be Pisces, or it could be a Pisces mother, grandmother, someone they know who's older, a boss. Maybe their boss is out of control, or someone got caught doing something, or someone's ill and they're just hanging out under the radar. So that's for Pisces. All right, so some kind of war within, without, with that Empress reverse. Empress reverse wasn't coming out very good. And like I said, it can just be someone who's ill or someone who miscarried, but it's coming out today for sure, someone on the warpath. Because she's reversed too. Yeah. All right, and then we have these just for closing remarks here. We have these 4 cards for everybody. So this is about healing and dreams come true with Aquarius energy, and then the Death card, which is the portal. So this is complete transformation, transitions, going across the bridge, completing your path through the portal to the 5D. This is recovering after getting over some kind of financial or any kind of practical loss. It doesn't have to be financial. It can be a physical injury, anything practical. And this is something not working or overworking, like overworking it in recovery. Or you did enough work and now you're aligned. So it's like you're ready for the next step. I mean, these are really powerful. So these are insignificant. These are both minor. These are 2 major arcana. All right, so there's either a literal death, okay, and now they're one with the universe, or it's complete transformation of your dreams and healing, like beautiful energy, letting back into your dreams. Maybe you lost something and then you got it back, or you lost a job and then got it back, or you lost a job and then got a better job. All right, but be careful about overworking. It was like whatever you did before wasn't working. So now you're going to get it right this time. I'm going to pull one more card from the Kipper deck, okay? Let's see what comes up for you guys. I'm losing my voice, so let's see what comes up with this. Okay, right up, occupation. So just make sure you do what you love, because you'll be married to your work. Okay. Somebody might be meeting a wealthy man. I'm losing my voice. Someone's coming forward. Someone wants to ask somebody to marry them, to take them away from all the hard work. Someone wants to take someone to City Hall and get married. Go into the chapel and we're gonna get married. All right? So taking them away from all this hard work. Getting married. So a girl who's marrying a wealthy man may be doing it too to take care of her mother. Or it's just that she's being taken away. Maybe it's someone who's not as young anymore who's getting married. Okay? Could have to do with divorce as well, because, you know, he's looking at them. It can go either way. It's more positive than negative. Or this could be like a mother saying, I worked so hard to get them married to a wealthy man and now they're divorcing. And she's really upset about it, an official person. So it could be a gift from an official person coming up as well, but I think that's enough. All right, guys, drink your water, get your rest, be joyful, and rise and be love. Be you first.